Focusing first on the execution of this project, Double Barrel, we see on in paragraph 5, now on our screens, as follows. The PMP intends to equally address illegal drug problems in the barangays and at the same time pursue the neutralization of illegal drug personalities, as well as the backbone of illegal drugs network operating in the country. And Your Honours will note the use of this word neutralization. While on its face, this word may be open to interpretation, insider witnesses provide evidence that within law enforcement within the Netherlands, within the Philippines, to neutralize meant to kill. And notably, one insider witness explained the significance of the use of this word neutralize in this command memorandum, and that's tab 54. And the witness stated as follows, quote, "They used the word neutralize to emphasize the kill order of President Duterte, because that is the promise of President Duterte even before the campaign." And Your Honours, the sprinkling of references to human rights in this document should be viewed in this context. And in this same speech, we'll shortly see Mr. Duterte holding another page of this PRRD list, reacting to criticisms based on human rights in relation to his so-called war on drugs.
Tapos sabihin mo lang ako, takot-takutin mo ako ng human rights. Pakain ko ito, bunganga nila. Oh.
And Your Honours, on this issue of human rights, as Mr. Nichols explained yesterday, during his speeches in Davao, Mr. Duterte, well versed in the law, would occasionally seek to legitimize his encouragement of state violence by references to human rights and self-defense, and he continued to do so as president. For example, as we will see in the next clip, during a speech on the 20th of September 2016, which is at tab 130, he stated the following.
Pagka bumunot, patayin mo. Pag hindi bumunot, patayin mo rin. Oh, tangin, para matapos na. Kaysa mawala pa bro. Ako na ang bahala sa inyo. Itaga ninyo ito sa puso ninyo. For as long as I am the president, nobody but nobody, no military man or policeman will go to prison because they perform their duties well. Ako ang mapakulong sa ito. Sabihin mo lang, utos ni Mayor yun.
So that was Mr. Duterte's message to the military and to the police. Kill, whether or not your target pulls a gun, and I will protect you. And Your Honours, as we will now hear, during the same speech, in case there was any doubt, Mr. Duterte made it very clear that this promise of protection related not only to lawful killings.
For as long as there is that power to pardon sa Constitution, yan ang weapon ko against crime. Magmasakir kayo ng 100, di ba? 100 din kayo, edi pardon lahat eh. Restored to full political and civil rights, plus a promotion to both.
And Your Honours, as was so often the case, Mr. Duterte's message was repeated and amplified in the media, as we see in the next slide, which is tab 88, which reads as follows, quote, "Duterte to troops, massacre criminals, I'll promote you." With the byline, in the same speech, Duterte tells soldiers he will never order them to do anything illegal. And this was the pattern, Your Honours. Out of one side of his mouth, quietly, occasionally, he would speak about self-defence. This was Mr. Duterte, the lawyer, keenly aware of his own legal jeopardy, especially once he was no longer president. And out of the other side of his mouth, loudly, frequently, he would say, "Kill, and I will protect you, I will pardon you, and I will promote you." And this was Mr. Duterte, the strong man president who orders the murders of drug lords and alleged criminals. And as the charged incidents demonstrate, Mr. Duterte's co-perpetrators, as well as the police on the streets, understood his message to kill loud and clear. And in this context, as witnesses explain, the police often use the term nanlaban, which translates to fighting back, to describe incidents in which they supposedly shot a victim in self-defense. And these reports were often almost identical. In essence, copy-paste reports in which victims were frequently blamed for their own deaths. And finally, unofficial rewards were paid. Your Honours, 32 individuals killed by the police in Bulletin in a 24-hour period. You would imagine this would be a major national incident. So how did Mr. Duterte react to this shocking news? Let's hear what he said, and for reference, this is tab 147.
Yung namatay daw kanina sa Bulacan 32 in a massive raid. Ganda yun. Makapatay lang tayo ng mga another 32 every day, then maybe we could reduce the what ails this country.
So that was the President's message in response to the death of 32 Filipinos in a single day. He essentially said to the police, "Well done, keep going, let's kill another 32 every day." And, Your Honours, in this context, as you would expect, the killings went on and on. This phase of one-time, big-time operations continued until around the 18th of August 2017, resulting in many more deaths. As one witness stated, quote, "It was hunting season, a killing spree," end quote. And that's at tab 77. And on the evening of the 16th of August, in the midst of this killing spree, perhaps at the same time as Mr. Duterte's speech in Bulletin, a 17-year-old child named Kian de Santos was murdered in Caloocan, the location of which is marked on our screens. And this is charged incident 30. As usual, the police claimed that Kian de Santos shot at them and they were forced to shoot him dead in self-defense. Another victim blamed for his death. As set out in our brief, paragraph 133, this account is contradicted by CCTV footage showing police dragging the child across the ground, and other evidence shows that after pleading for his life, he was shot twice in the head. And the next slide is a graphic image, Your Honours, and that's tab 151. On our screens, we see the tragic image of the body of the 17-year-old child, Kian de Santos. And as noted in our brief, paragraph 56, this brutal murder led to a massive public outcry across the Philippines. And in these circumstances, exceptionally, the direct perpetrators of these murders were prosecuted and they were imprisoned. And in the face of this public outcry, Mr. Duterte was forced to temporarily withdraw police from drug operations from the 10th of October to the 4th of December 2017. And this led to a reduction in the frequency of killings. In announcing this temporary withdrawal, Mr. Duterte sarcastically stated that he hoped that this would satisfy, quote, "bleeding hearts and the media," end quote. And in this way, he publicly communicated that this was not a genuine effort to prevent crime, but rather a temporary attempt to placate public criticism. And less than 2 months later, Mr. Duterte decided to once again scale up operations. He ordered the PNP back into the campaign, and the killings once again intensified. And, Your Honours, regrettably, children continued to be the victims of these killings. Your Honours will recall that at the very start of his presidency, Mr. Duterte gave a speech in Tondo, and we saw a part of it earlier. This is tab 127 on our list of materials, and we'll watch another portion of that speech now.
Yung mga adik ho dyan, kayo na lang ho ang pumatay. Kung anak niya, ikaw ang pumatay. Kung anak niyang adik, kayo ang pumatay para hindi masyado masakit.
If it's someone's child, be the killer yourself. If someone's child is the addict, then you be the one to kill. Your Honours, it's worth pausing here, taking a step back and reflecting on what we are seeing and what we are hearing. This is the President of the Philippines, the Commander-in-Chief, the most powerful man in the Philippines. He's pointing directly at the crowd, and he is telling them to kill someone else's child. Kill them, not because they are an alleged drug lord, not even an alleged criminal, but simply because they may have an addiction to drugs. And this is an example, perhaps, of what the defense described yesterday as Mr. Duterte speaking, quote, openly from the heart, sincerely and truthfully, end quote. And that's transcript 4, page 37, lines 15 to 16. And during an earlier part of the same speech, Mr. Duterte also boasted that during his presidency, funeral homes would make a lot of money. Let's play that clip.
Sabihin ko sa inyo, itong mga panahon nitong mga araw na dadating, kung may punerarya ho kayo, kikita kayo ng husto. Tayo ko yung mga small time na punerarya dito, doon. At sigurado hindi kayo malugi. At pag humihina na ang negosyo ninyo, sabihin ko lang sa mga pulis, bilis-bilisan ninyo ng konti para kumita yung tao sa negosyo nila. Ayan, sinasabi ko na sa inyo. Hindi ako nagbibiro.
So again, here's the President assuring funeral homes that if their business declines, he will, quote, tell the police, hurry up a little so people can make money from their business, end quote. And he stressed very clearly he was, quote, not joking. And as my friend said yesterday, transcript 4, page 30, lines 18 to 19, quote, for President Roddy, his word was his word, and the people knew it, end quote. In this context, to conclude, I'll focus briefly on incidents 38 and 45. As your honours know, in the course of these incidents, which occurred during 2018, on 2 separate occasions, the police detained a child aged around 14 or 15 years old. On each occasion, the police wrapped the child's head in packing tape so no one could hear them scream, and then strangled the child to death with wire. It's difficult to imagine a more terrifying end to 2 lives that had barely even begun. And these murdered children were then sold to funeral homes, who profited from their bodies, as explained in paragraphs 142 and 150 of our brief. Your Honours, dead children, police ensuring that funeral homes made money. Mr. Duterte, indeed, was not joking. Thank you, Your Honours. This concludes my presentation.